Saturday morning cartoons were one of the most important and anticipated times of my young life. After waking up 5 days in a row early in the morning to go to school and hate everything, it was such a nice feeling to sleep in, have a nice bowl of cereal, turn on the TV, and see all the classics I would keep up with on a weekly basis. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pokemon, Power Rangers, and of course, the subject of today's video, Kirby Right Back At Ya. Kirby Right Back At Ya always stood out to me when compared to all of the other cartoons I watched, simply because it was an animated series based off of a video game series that I loved so much. I was always so hooked and excited for every episode, no matter how bad or uninteresting some of them were. All for the simple reason of, it was Kirby! How could I not automatically love it? So allow me to take you back to my childhood years as we check out Kirby's adorable anime. Kirby Right Back At Ya made its debut on October 6, 2001, running up until September 27, 2003. The show had 4 seasons, combining 100 total episodes. That's really impressive. The show was on many channels depending on your country, such as Teletoon in Canada, Pop in the UK, and for Americans like myself, we saw this adorable show where we saw all of our classic Saturday morning cartoons on Fox Kids.
Hey, no damage here. Fox Kids will be right back with more Augie and the Cockroaches.
The amount of memories and nostalgia I have for Fox Kids is almost overwhelming. My mom would record TV shows with our VHS, which I think was illegal, oops. And I would see these commercials and bumpers for the program all the time. This logo melts my heart in so many ways I can't even begin to explain. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's get back to the show. Episode 1. There's a giant tentacle monster attacking, and I immediately fear this is going places I hope it won't. It turns out, however, he's just hungry and wants to eat some sheep. And he does, raining the bones onto the sheep's owner. Oh my gosh, that is so brutal! Who said Kirby was a lighthearted franchise, apart from me a million times? And as the sheep herder looks on at this giant monster, horrified at the sight of his animal's demise, as well as his possible impending doom, we get the intro.
Kirby, 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 that's the name you should know. Kirby, 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 he's the star of the show.
Well, that was quite the shift in tone, but I'll take it. This theme song is quite the gem. It's got that old school 1950s jazz hands kind of vibe to it. You feel?
Give it all that you got, take your very best shot.
It's really catchy, and anyone who grew up with the show will join in with you if you start singing the lyrics. This was during a time when anime wasn't that well solidified in American pop culture, so intro songs were constantly changed and remade completely to appeal to us Americans. For example, in Japan, One Piece's intro sounded like, then, when brought overseas, it became,
Here's how the story goes, we find out by the treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt.
which I genuinely love. After the intro, we're introduced to our main villains, King Dedede and his right-hand snail, Escargoon.
Little fella wouldn't hurt a fly unless it was on the end of a fish hook.
Oh jeez. So in this show, King Dedede for some reason sounds like a mob boss, or a gangster, which is kinda fitting since that's sort of his role. Throughout the show, we'll see Dedede taking orders from this business schmuck on a TV, representing Nightmare Enterprises, an evil company started up by Nightmare himself, telling Dedede what to do, essentially acting as the company's muscle to do all the dirty work. Like, you know, showing up in a tank to destroy nature and take out a wise sentient tree. Gosh, back to the dark stuff already. Luckily, however, this plan is thwarted when a ship crashes into the tank, causing a commotion. And who else should be in that ship other than our cute protagonist himself, Kirby?
Kirby! Kirby!
Dedede attempts to murder him, but is quickly saved by these 2 kids.
In case you were wondering, my name's Tiff. Name Tiff. And I'm her brother, Tough.
Aww. This is Tiff, and that's Tough. These 2 kids quickly befriend Kirby since, well, wouldn't you do the same? We then get some vintage Kirby action. While these kids try to learn more about this sweet puffball, we see him in watermelon fields eating watermelons whole, as well as being invited to a city dinner, while he inhales and consumes everything while the villagers look on in awe. Kirby, though, just doesn't care. He eats their food and then wanders off without a care in the world.
Oh, I knew I should have started eating.
Eventually, that giant octopus comes back looking for more trouble, but this time, the town's got a secret weapon. Kirby! Squidward here shoots fire out of his tentacles. Somehow. But oops, this is a Kirby we're dealing with, so he inhales the flames and gains the fire ability. Kirby then has a really spectacular and awesome fight with the beast, until he's eventually slain. Unfortunately though, Kirby's ship is now fixed, and it's time to say goodbye, leaving his new friends. Or does he?
We'll make sure that don't happen. Goodbye for good!
Okay, well, you know what, DDD, this is your fault. He shoots Kirby out of the sky, his ship breaks, again, but this time, just decides, hey, this planet's pretty cool, I'm gonna stay here.
Kirby!
Kirby Comes to Cappy Town is a really solid first episode and sets the tone perfectly for what the show's gonna be all about. As you might have guessed, Tiff and Tuff essentially take on the role as the main characters, with huge air quotes, and essentially become the focus of the show, since, as Tuff points out early on, and as we the viewers witnessed with Kirby's lack of speaking ability, Kirby is just a baby. Some might view this as a bad thing, since the show pretty much focuses around Kirby and not specifically on him, but I think this was for the best. If Kirby spoke too much, it would be really weird, and we might have another Link on our hands.
Oh boy, smooching time! Oh, you suck!
This was a choice, however, made by Masahiro Sakurai himself, the creator of Kirby. He had two requests upon the show's creation. One, Kirby would not talk, hence why he was probably written as a baby. And two, there should be no humans. Soji Yoshikawa, the producer of Right Back At Ya, mentioned how difficult it was to create a show where the main protagonist couldn't speak, as well as building a world full of characters with no humans. The end result is a really unique mix of smaller side characters from the games, now given a more prominent role, as well as solid original characters.
I'm Takori, and I'm 100% pro-tree, and this gumball's Kirby.
Oh, it's an honor to meet a famous tree like you.
Speaking of the visuals, I adore how Kirby Right Back At Ya looks. Its aesthetic is able to capture the same joy and lightheartedness as the games do. Sakurai was heavily involved with the show's production, stating in an interview with Famitsu saying, "I was considerably involved with the production of the anime. The aim was to create an anime that could be enjoyed by children and parents at the same time, just as the games. At first, Kirby began as a game that even a beginner could enjoy. I believe such a spirit was achieved in the anime." And he's right. The anime's tone and feel is very much in line with the games, primarily being upbeat and with a focus of putting a smile on your face, with Kirby's constant need to eat anything and everything in sight, all while looking absolutely innocent and adorable.
Here, Kirby!
There's an episode where the Waddle Dees leave the castle and become servants to everyone in town, essentially becoming like the iPhone, just a product that everyone casually has, all included with a Waddle Dee vending machine.
Now I can stay open 24 hours and still get a good night's sleep.
There's an episode where Kirby eats a Naughty, a creature that infects him with a sleep virus, in which, you guessed it, he can't stop falling asleep. What I'm trying to get at is that the show has a fairly carefree feel. But, just like with the games, the anime can flip that switch, and its tone and mood can feel very tense. Usually when a dark and dangerous threat is looming over our lovable protagonists, or a major fight is about to occur. Oh yeah, the fight scenes! How have I not mentioned them yet? A constant theme throughout the anime are the transformation sequences. Yeah, whenever Kirby is about to get into a fight or save the world in some way, he'll go through these transformation scenes that are unique to each ability, similar to Sailor Moon, just way cuter. I love these kind of things. Coming from someone who watched Power Rangers religiously, I always get hyped during any kind of transformation from regular old Joe to superhero.
Look out, Rita, we're not backing down. We're the Power Rangers.
Have I mentioned yet just how colorful and awe-inspiring this anime looks? I think I have, actually. Studio Comet was the head animation department who worked on Right Back At Ya. They've worked on many children's anime during their time, all of which have had adorable, charming art styles, such as Jewel Pets, a show about bunny witches. Japan is so cool. However, when brought to America, the show was licensed by 4Kids.
No, God!
Yeah, their legacy pretty much speaks for themselves. For those who don't know, 4Kids is very infamous for bringing over anime from Japan and unnecessarily making edits to better suit an American audience.
He's made a robot!
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
Some stuff, however, made sense. Like, for some reason, there were lots of scenes with alcohol and guns. Yeah, here's Kirby defending an armory, and here's him shooting an Uzi like a madman. Who thought this was a good idea? I mean, it's a really funny sight, but still. Obviously, this episode never made it to American programming. But at the end of the day, Kirby Right Back At Ya serves the same purpose as the Kirby games. To give the viewer a temporary escape from the harsh day-to-day hustle and bustle of reality into a cute and fun world that you can't help but smile at. Every Saturday morning, my 10-year-old self was glued in front of the TV watching this show. I would be genuinely sad when I missed an episode for whatever reason. Kirby helped relieve any stress my young self was going through, with school, homework, my D- grade average, you name it. And I hope I was able to show you exactly why this anime made me super happy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your favorite cartoon that you like to watch after a long day of school. And like Kirby says,
What?
yeah, that.